Hey, all, Brad here with another video. I mentioned in the last one that I was shutting down, taking in customer work for a couple months, trying to get caught up on some of my projects. Had a customer of mine, Chris, reach out. He recently picked up a converted Sinistar cab. The cab looks real clean, other than it was converted to another game, and he's in the process of deconverting it. He plans on running a Sinistar board in, at least initially. I'm not sure, he might want to get original hardware at some point, but he was really hoping he could get a 49-way, red ball top original Sinistar stick, and he it was directed to me from a few people, and I do have a couple. I was going to try to push them off a few months, so I got caught up, but I was able to work this in. We had some rain and stuff that I really wasn't going to be in the garage, so I was able to get a 49-way Sinistar stick I had, a couple of them around that I bought over the years, tore it apart, restored it, put it all back together. I'll go through. Do have a photo album I'll link to with the some of the steps in there, but I'll go over kind of how the 49-way operates, the functions of it, what I did on this one. And I also he asked me to make up a harness to connect it to the JROK board. It does support the 49-way, but it's on a zero point 0.1 header, and you have to bring external power in, and people struggle making up these harnesses and stuff. So I made up a harness as well. I'll go through how I make that up, the pinout. I'll share a link down below in the notes. So let me switch over to the bench cam, and we'll get rolling on this. So let me try to do this without holding the camera too much, because I tend to make people nauseous, I think, with the camera. Oops, got a little bit of my leg in that shot. So this is the restored Sinistar 49-way. You can tell the original ones, they have this little lip on the bottom. These shafts are machined and knurled, and then they cast this ball over the end of the shaft. And these are a mild steel, polished. So what I do is I pull these apart. I put the shaft, which this is an Arch Rivals one, same from a 49-way, but I chuck this up in a drill press I have. It spins, and then I get some wet dry sandpaper. I start off with like a 400. I'll do this portion of the shaft that's exposed, and the ball, especially if there's any deep scratches, and I'll hit it with a 400, and then I'll go to 800 grit, which is finer, going the higher the number, and then I'll get up to roughly 4,000 grit with this wet dry sandpaper, and then I'll switch over to the Novus polishes, plastic polishes, and I'll start with the coarse there, go to the fine, and then I go with the polish protected, and same thing even on the metal. It works wonderful for it. So you can tell, that ball top looks like brand new, and the portion of the exposed shaft. I stripped these completely apart, every nut and bolt. This upper bearing, these are actually hardened steel. I do machine them when I do some blaster joysticks, and they are hard. There's 3 pieces in there. You can see them in the photo album, but I do take these because they do wear a lot. This top portion is exposed, so I paint these and then bake the paint on. Um, Let me show you what the board looks like here. So this is the 49-way optical board, we'll call it. So for the left and right, or the x-axis, you have 3 optical switches, and then for the vertical or up and down y-axis, you also have 3 optical switches. There's some transistors that help boost those signals, and then there's a resistor network here that pulls up all of the outputs to 5 volts when they're not activated. So total, this board, what it outputs is 8 outputs. So you get one for each one of the optical switches, and then through this 4000 series logic chip of 4011, it calculates out and gives you a direction bit for up and down. So it'll say, hey, for up and down, it's currently up or down, and then for left and right, it's currently left, currently right, and then the same 3 bits are used in each axis as well. So the board's not super complicated. I do fix a lot of these as well. I do have a lot of spares because I convert a lot of the 49 ways to 8 ways. So I end up with a bunch of these. On the very bottom of the joystick, where the end of the shaft goes to, this is where you have the optical interrupters here. So again, you've got the 3 flags, one for each axis, X and Y. And I'll kind of show you here when you put the shaft through as you move it. You can kind of see how that would, actually I could probably get a hold of the centering spider here. So as you move that, both can move simultaneously or independent, and those basically break the optical. These use the optical switches use an ultraviolet IR emitter on one side, and then they have a IR transistor on the other side. So basically, when that light is on, there's just like a little flashlight going across, and when you break that beam and it goes dark, the transistor changes state. They're pretty simple devices. And then again, this little rubber piece here is referred to as a centering spider, and what that's designed to do is when you know release the ball top on the joystick, it pulls everything back to centered. And again, the 49 way, the reason it's 49 way for both axis, you have three positions. Let's say you're dealing with left to right, you have three to the left, three to the right, and then your center is 0. So essentially you have 7 in each axis. So you have 7 for left and right, or your x-axis, and then 7 for your y-axis for up and down, and that gives you a total of 49, 7 times 7. So that being said, let me show you the harness I built up. So whoops, sorry about that. Let's show you the JROK first. So here's the JROK board. Um, what he did over here was brilliant. He broke out all 8 required pins for the 49 way, and also for the soundboard is on the top row above that, all the digital I/O. So if you want to drive an original soundboard or boards, like Blaster uses 2 of those, you can do that no problem with this header. So it doesn't necessarily shut off your internal sound, you just don't wire your speakers to it. And you turn the volume all the way down so the amplifier's not being driven. But you can use external sound. So that's the header for the 8 inputs, and then you need to pick up 5 volts elsewhere. I would recommend just taking it out of the JAMA where you're bringing it anyway, but you can pull it right off the power supply or wherever. I did make a little sheet here for when I do these for myself. I'm happy to share it if anybody wants it, but it goes through how to enable it on the JROK in the menu, the 49 way. You know, that you can't use the stick to move up and down through the menu. The 49 way is not designed for that. It's only available for Sinistar and Blaster. And then here's that board I was showing you, the original Williams board. It shows you that it's a 12-pin header. Pin 10 is the key. They cut that pin there. And then on the back side, I show you what the 12 pins are. So you get the 5 volts and ground on 11 and 12. Those are bus, so it doesn't matter which one you use. Again, pin 10 is the key, which is cut. And then you get your 3 opto switches for up and down, and then the direction bit for up, down, and then you get the 3 for left and right, and then the direction bit for the left and right. And then up here, it shows you the JROK header. So there was 2 different versions. The early JROK boards have a different pinout. So I'm hoping my customer has the newer board because I think they were buying it, so I'm pretty sure. So this is version 1.3 or later. And again, so this bottom row, pin 1 is noted on the silk screen on the board, so it does have a number 1 there, which I'll show you why that's important. And then again, these descriptions line up with the descriptions from the original. I'll show you the harness I made here. So this is the Williams size. This plugs into the joystick. This is the 12 pin, and you can see in the end here at pin 10 I put a polarizing key in, so you can't plug it in backwards. And then again, pin 1 is plus, 11 and 12 are the ground, and then the ones in the center are, you know, the 3 for each direction and the 2 direction bits. And on the other end, where it plugs into that 0.1 header, what I've done is I put the 0.1 header. These are a little fiddly to crimp and get in there. But I do put a little marker on here with a P-Touch label that shows where pin 1 is on that side. So when you plug it into the board, again, it's marked here on the silk screen. It shows a 1. So you just go ahead and drop it on here. I'm trying to do it while holding the camera. So that's plugged in. And then I broke out, the harness has all the wires in it, including the 5 volts until the very end. And then I broke out essentially the red and black for the plus 5 is red and the ground is black. I put a little loop in mine here just for testing so they're not at the same length so I don't short my leads out here. So what I would recommend is just looping these over into your JAMA connector for power, or picking them up off your, you know, switching power supply or whatever it is you're using. But probably the easiest is just loop it right here to the JAMA header to pick up the 5 volts. That being said, let me hook this up. I'll plug it in, and so I've got that plugged in there now. I'm going to connect the 5 volts. Let's switch over to the gameplay camera here while I'm doing that, so you guys don't have to struggle through. Okay, I just need to hook up the plus 5, and it should have it working here. I do have a little remote control on my bench, so I will hit the power. I do have it hooked up to the JAMA harness, and I mapped the JROK board from my little PlayStation controller I've showed before. So there's the main menu in the JROK, and I will scroll down to the setup menu. You should have the audio working as well, so I'll select that. And then under system settings, if you go down, you'll see there's an option for 49-way joystick. Make sure that's turned on. Then you can go here to exit. And then in here, the neat thing we've got is a switch test. So we'll come in here, and down on that bottom row, you can see we've got, trying to see here, we've got the joystick hooked up. So as if I move up, you'll see the last 4 bits essentially. So the last 3 are the intensity, the 3 flags, and then the 4th bit back from the far right is the direction. So as I pull down, it'll toggle 1, and then you see go 1, 1, 1, and then going left, it'll go 1, 1, 1, 1, and then if I go right, you'll see that first bit on the far left go to 0, and then you'll see 1, 1, 1. So they're all working pretty well. So I anticipate, so what I'll do is I'll switch over to, let's exit this, player 1 and player 2 to exit. And then I'm going to go to exit setup. And then we'll go to Sinistar. Boot into this, and then I can switch over to, I think I have it set up, I have one with vertical. And then let me hit start. And then if I move, here's the joystick. If I move up, down, left, right, I don't really have any buttons hooked up to fire, so I'm just kind of flying around arbitrarily here. But you can see I am using the 49-way. There's down, up, leftish. Oh, got me. So anyway, it's working real well. No problems at all. The harness, everything works good. The joystick turned out beautiful. I do also, people that they get the Arch Rivals 49-way sticks, I do sell, I've modeled the Sinistar joystick with a threaded end, M6, and then I've got some same diameter red ball tops, really nice high quality that thread on. So you can get an Arch Rival stick with the orange ball top, pull that stick out and put in a new stick that I have made. I have made out of 304 stainless steel, and then with the red ball top, and it's essentially the same thing. I will know that it's not an original, but other than that, I don't think there's a few people on the planet that would know, and it's a real good option to go with if you do have access to an Arch Rival stick. But those are getting hard to find too. So with that, I'm going to wrap the video up, and appreciate you watching, and keep an eye out for the next one.